feeling overwhelmed and burnt out despite working incredibly hard. You're not alone. Many people mistake busy work for progress, confusing frantic activity with actual achievement. They pile on tasks without a clear plan, thinking more work equals more results. But the truth is, the opposite is true. Unfocused effort only leads you further from your goals. Sound familiar? Long days, a racing mind, tons of started tasks, and yet a nagging feeling that nothing truly meaningful got done. The guilt creeps in, followed by frustration, leading to even more pressure and harder work. The problem isn't a lack of energy. It's a surplus of wasted effort. High achievers aren't necessarily the fastest. They're the ones who know precisely where they're going. They don't wake up wondering what to do, but rather what they refuse to waste time on. They don't rely on motivation. They rely on structure. And that's exactly what you're about to build. In the next few minutes, you'll learn to supercharge your productivity, not with brute force, but with intelligent strategy. Not with empty motivational slogans, but with solid, practical principles. Each concept in this video is a tool to streamline your routine with clarity, focus, and discipline. It's not about doing more. It's about doing better. Achieving more with less effort, less noise, and significantly greater results. Stop spinning your wheels. Are you busy, or are you actually getting things done? Many of us confuse activity with achievement, mistaking a packed schedule for progress. This leads to a subtle but insidious trap, the modern-day addiction to busy work. We delude ourselves into thinking that a jam-packed day equals progress, when in reality, it often just means we're burning ourselves out. The truth is, there's a huge difference between effective action and pointless activity. One gets you closer to your goals, the other just keeps you running in place. Think of it like this. Industrial pioneers like Taylor and Ford understood. This, a century ago, unnecessary movement in the factory was waste. They weren't interested in frantic activity. They wanted efficiency. The same logic applies to your life. You don't need more to DOS. You need better focus. To find that focus, take a hard look at your last 3 days. Honestly assess what actually moved the needle, what generated real results, what brought you closer to your ambitions. Everything else, it's fluff. It's excess baggage. Cut it out, delegate it, automate it. You don't lack time. You're drowning in unproductive busy work. When you clear away the clutter, something amazing happens. Focus sharpens, your mind clears, and productivity blossoms not as a result of sheer effort, but as a natural consequence of streamlined action. Don't just busy yourself. Build something. The difference is crucial. Many start their days with overflowing to-do lists, a whirlwind of activity, yet true productivity hinges on a single strategic question. What am I building? Without a clear destination, any path seems viable, but most are dead ends. Think Henry Ford. He didn't start with the factory floor. He started with the car, the vision, the final product. The assembly line came later. He reverse engineered success. You should too. Instead of flailing around trying to figure out what you want, define your goal first, then meticulously map your path backward. What needs to happen before that, and before that, until you've broken it down into today's actionable steps. This week, pick one objective, just one, and reverse engineer it. List the precise steps required, scheduling them across the week. This transforms a vague wish into a concrete, predictable process. It's not about working harder. It's about working smarter. Knowing your destination turns even inertia into a tactical advantage. Stop winging it. Seriously, ditch the haphazard approach to your week and start treating it like a well-oiled machine, not a lottery ticket. High achievers don't fly by the seat of their pants. They build a blueprint. Every on-the-fly decision drains your energy. Every wrong turn wastes precious focus. That's why they create a template week, a predictable, repeatable system where every time slot has a specific job. Think of it as a mental assembly line. Each part of your day has a clear function. This structure eliminates the productivity killer, constant context switching. Jumping between unrelated tasks is like driving with the emergency brake on your burning fuel without gaining ground. But by grouping similar tasks and dedicating focused blocks of time, you'll accelerate with less effort. Embrace the power of batching. Designate specific times for deep work, execution, meetings, and crucially rest. When everything has its place, your mind stops sabotaging you with anxiety. It understands the rhythm, gets into the flow. Starting tonight, schedule your next 7 days and fix time blocks, even if it's a simple plan. Begin small. Mornings for creative work, afternoons for execution, evenings for review. The specific template is less important than the underlying principle, taking control of your week. Stop leaving it to chance. You've conquered your week, wrestled chaos into submission. But if you're still shouldering it all alone, remember this: micromanagement isn't an opinion, it's a mathematical dead end. Delegation isn't a luxury, it's pure arithmetic. Productivity is all about distributing your workload smartly. Many cling to control, whispering, "No one does it like I do," or "explaining takes too long." Sounds reasonable, but it's emotion masquerading as logic. Every hour spent on tasks others could handle is a slow squeeze on your potential, stifling your growth and creativity. Consider your hourly rate. If your time is worth $100, why waste it on $20 tasks? It's not efficiency, it's vanity disguised as commitment. This cycle breeds burnout and ultimately limits your reach. Delegation isn't letting go, it's creating scalable systems. It's about transforming repetitive tasks into repeatable processes, blueprints for success. Empower others, and focus on what truly matters. Pick one recurring time suck that doesn't require your direct involvement: scheduling, admin, editing, logistics, anything. Document the process. A video, a checklist, whatever works. That investment of time will pay dividends for weeks, months, even years. The time spent teaching others becomes freedom for yourself. You weren't born to do everything. You were born to build something bigger. And nobody builds anything truly great alone. Stop relying on your memory, it's a sieve. To achieve peak performance, ditch the guesswork and build a rock-solid system. Think of it like this: your brain's a supercomputer, but it needs a well-oiled operating system to truly shine. That OS is a meticulously crafted checklist. Forget wish lists. This is a battle plan, a silent executioner ensuring consistent results even when you're running on fumes. The World Health Organization's adoption of surgical checklists slashed errors by 47%. Lives were on the line. Now imagine the impact on your day-to-day, safeguarding your time, energy, and ultimately, your future. Why reinvent the wheel every time? Create routines that streamline your workflow, turning your brain into a highly efficient production line. Every project, every task, every deadline deserves its own clear, concise, repeatable checklist. This isn't about adding more work. It's about eliminating wasted effort, optimizing your time, and protecting your mental health. So, pick one area where you often wing it: your Monday mornings, content creation, studying, or meeting prep. and build a checklist outlining the essential steps. Test it, tweak it, and repeat. You'll be less reliant on motivation and more reliant on a system. And systems trump fatigue. They fuel discipline and safeguard productivity. Forget waiting for the muse. Inspiration's a fickle friend, motivation a roller coaster, and enthusiasm. It fades faster than a cheap pair of sunglasses. If you're relying on those to get things done, you'll spend your life twiddling your thumbs. Real achievement isn't about constant bursts of brilliance. It's about building a system that laughs in the face of your mood swings. Think of it as a mental trigger mechanism, the right time, the right place, the right task. Don't wait until you feel like working. Start, and the feeling will follow. Action precedes emotion, always. Too many people get stuck waiting for that elusive perfect moment, but guess what? You build that moment, you don't find it. You build it with relentless repetition, habit, quiet, consistent action. True productivity isn't glamorous. It's monotonous, repetitive, and frankly, a bit boring. And that's its strength. Your brain learns. Feelings don't matter here. I just do the work. The more you do, the less you resist, because your brain adapts to routine. So here's your challenge. Pick that one task you constantly put off. Set a trigger, same time, same place, same stimuli, coffee, music, whatever works for you. Do it. For 7 straight days. The outcome is secondary. The ritual itself is key. You're not just creating something. You're rewiring your brain. Don't judge a book by its cover or a life by its starts. The real measure of success isn't the number of projects you launch, but the number you finish. Too many of us are drowning in a sea of half-baked ideas, abandoned projects, and unfinished. Business a masterful disguise for procrastination. Starting feels good. It's a cheap thrill, a mirage of progress. The true satisfaction, the genuine boost to your life, comes from crossing the finish line. That requires a skill rarely practiced. Unwavering focus until the very end. Our modern world is a hyperactive attention deficit disorder machine, constantly bombarding us with distractions, pulling us from one task, one screen, one fleeting thought to another, leaving us perpetually busy, but profoundly unfulfilled. The golden rule: finish what you start, or don't start it at all. If you won't see it through, don't even begin. If you've already begun, commit to the completion. This builds a quiet reputation, a reputation for follow-through that surpasses any fleeting motivation. Pick one unfinished task, something you started and abandoned. Dedicate 90 uninterrupted minutes, no distractions, no multitasking, solely to completing it. No switching gears, no excuses, just pure, focused execution. You'll discover the power of completion, a force far greater than the inertia of avoidance. As you finish more than you start, your productivity blossoms. You'll transform from busy to reliable, first to yourself, then to the world. Procrastination is a mental trap, a sneaky thief that robs us of our time and energy. We get bogged down in the minutiae, turning a simple task into a Herculean effort. Parkinson's law, that insidious beast, ensures it. Work expands to fill the time allotted. A 3-hour job stretched across a week becomes a swamp of endless delays and distractions, leaving you busy but utterly unproductive. The solution? Embrace the power of deadlines. Flip the script. Pick that monstrous task you've been avoiding, the one that looms like a dark cloud, and give yourself a ridiculously short time frame. 2 hours. That's it. Set a timer. Not to rush, but to focus your mind like a laser beam. This isn't about speed. It's about eliminating the fluff, stripping away the unnecessary, and getting straight to the core. The pressure forces clarity, sharpening your concentration, and unlocking productivity levels you never knew you possessed. You'll be amazed at what you can achieve when you stop negotiating with the task and simply confront it head-on. Tight. Deadlines don't just create urgency. They forge efficiency and ultimately excellence. You're burning precious energy on something that looks impressive, but is actually a trap. Constant firefighting. Solving endless problems, fixing mistakes, redoing work. You think that's productivity, but it's a symptom. A symptom of a lack of planning, systems, and processes. You don't need to improve the solution. You need to prevent the problem. True efficiency comes from predictability, built on robust systems and proactive measures. Improvising means you're endlessly putting out fires you started with neglect. With a predictable routine, things flow smoothly before you even need to lift a finger. That's the power of a well-oiled machine. Lean productivity. Nip problems in the bud. Establish standards before chaos forces improvisation. Automate before exhaustion leads to errors. This applies to everything. Your morning routine, your job, your diet, your finances. Here's the practical application. Identify a recurring problem causing delays, bottlenecks, or rework. Instead of reacting, reflect and ask, how can I permanently eliminate this obstacle? The answer might be a new process, an automation, a checklist, a simple tweak, anything that removes that repetition from your life. Productivity isn't just about action. It's about prevention, creating a system that prevents failure. And when you do that, you grow not through brute force, but through smart organization. Your weekly schedule, a window into your soul. What does it reveal about your priorities? Your discipline? What truly matters? Let's be honest. What's not scheduled doesn't exist. And even if it does, without a dedicated slot, it gets swallowed whole by the daily chaos. Most people treat their calendar like a passive record, a dumping ground for appointments others dictate. But high achievers use it as a strategic weapon. They don't leave time to chance. They carve out specific work blocks. It's the architecture of their day, and structure breeds results. Stop relying on memory. Build a system you can trust. Appointments with yourself are just as crucial as those with others. If you don't actively protect time for what matters, the world will gladly fill it with what doesn't. Time blocking is your secret weapon. Dedicate specific time slots to distinct tasks: creation, execution, meetings, rest. Each block becomes a shield against distraction, a bulwark against improvisation. A predictable day fuels strategic, not reactive energy. Start now. Open your calendar. Block out 3 consistent activities for the next 5 days. 1 for creative work, 1 for execution, and 1 for review. Treat these as unbreakable appointments, because they are. With yourself, with your goals, with your growth. You don't need more time. You need better control over the time you already have. And in the next section, we'll tackle the most insidious focus killer: multitasking. It's time to excise this efficiency disguised poison from your life. Juggling multiple tasks might seem smart, productive, even cutting edge. But neuroscience shows us that every time you switch gears, your brain loses up to 40% of its efficiency, a silent drain you only notice as fatigue, distraction, and that nagging feeling of working hard but getting nowhere. Your brain isn't a multitasking machine. It thrives on focused attention to achieve peak performance. That doing several things at once is actually a series of micro-interruptions that shatter your flow and concentration. And with flow goes power. Think of it like this. Try writing the alphabet interspersed with numbers A1, B2, C3, then separately a Z, then 1 minus 10. You'll find the first method takes nearly twice as long a stark illustration of how switching focus sabotages performance. The key? Batch similar tasks. Group similar energy demands together. Write, then edit. Brainstorm, then decide. Create, then implement. Each block focuses on a particular type of mental effort, creating a smooth, concentrated workflow and better results. Try this. Dedicate a block of time, even just an hour, to eliminating all distractions. Put your phone away, close unnecessary tabs, and focus on a single task. Create an environment that screams, "This is the only thing that matters." Then compare the quality of your work. It's not about speed. It's about depth. True excellence isn't built on constant fragmentation. Stop wasting your precious time on needless repetition. True, sustainable productivity isn't about having a phenomenal memory. It's about building robust systems. And the cornerstone of any system? Documentation. Think about the biggest, most successful organizations. They don't rely on guesswork. They thrive on processes, templates, and standardized procedures. Winging it is expensive, risky, and ultimately unsustainable. You need to become the CEO of your own life, managing the information flow. Every recurring task should be meticulously documented. Turn it into a playbook, a checklist, a master file. This applies to everything: projects, meetings, even simple decisions. By documenting, you'll not only become faster, but also smarter, iteratively improving based on concrete data, not hazy recollections. Start small. Pick one weekly task that makes you scratch your head trying to remember the steps, files, and next actions. Document it. A simple digital note, spreadsheet, or even a detailed flow chart will do. The format is secondary. The crucial thing is to get it out of your head. Information living solely in your brain is vulnerable and ephemeral. Documented information, however, is scalable, shareable, and ultimately liberating. It frees you from the tyranny of repetition and paves the way for continuous growth and improvement. Want to level up your game? Seriously boost your output without burning out? Here's the deal. What you don't measure, you can't manage, and what you can't manage silently controls you. You might think you're making progress, but you're probably stuck in a rut, drifting aimlessly without a roadmap. Most people just muddle through, living under the illusion of accomplishment. "I think I did okay," or "I think I worked hard," are just gut feelings, not data. You need a personal dashboard, a command center that gives you brutally honest feedback on whether you're moving forward or spinning your wheels. It doesn't have to be complex. Just track 3 things: execution tasks completed, focus blocks of uninterrupted work, and impact what actually mattered. These 3 combined reveal your true progress. Then make daily check-ins a habit. At the end of each day, spend 2 minutes honestly asking yourself, did I act today or just react? Were my actions driven by priorities or distractions? And did anything I do move me closer to my goals? These questions will realign you, refocus your energy, and reconnect you with what truly matters. The key is consistency, not perfection. Use a spreadsheet, an app, whatever works. Just track your execution, focus, and impact daily. Measuring lets you adjust, and adjusting fuels growth. Productivity without measurement is a fantasy. With it, it becomes a strategic powerhouse. Stop wasting your precious time on repetitive tasks. If you're doing something more than 3 times a week, ask yourself, is this truly necessary? Manually handling tasks that could be automated is like throwing your most valuable asset. Time in the trash. Automation isn't a luxury. It's a strategic necessity, and you don't need a tech team to pull it off. Simple tools like automated reminders, canned responses, email templates, organization apps, and spreadsheets with formulas can eliminate tons of busy work. You might not even notice how much time you're losing those seemingly insignificant. Minutes add up to hours, even days, each week. Think about it. Endlessly checking the same data, answering the same questions, generating identical reports. Automate it. But automation is only half the battle. The other, even more crucial, step is elimination. Some tasks shouldn't be done at all, automated or otherwise. They're dead weight, offering no progress, no results, no value. So, grab a pen and paper or open a note on your phone. List every task you do in a week, then sort them into 3 piles. Automate, delegate, eliminate. Pick one task from each pile and conquer it this week. It's that simple. Clear your mental clutter, lighten your load, and focus on what truly matters. Unlocking peak performance isn't about cramming more into your day. It's about laser focus. Forget the myth of multitasking. True productivity comes from ruthlessly prioritizing what truly matters. The most effective leaders aren't busy bees. They're strategic snipers. They identify the 3 things, just 3, that will deliver 80% of their desired results, ruthlessly shedding everything else. Think of it as a surgical strike on your to-do list, using the Eisenhower matrix to weed out the urgent, but inconsequential, preserving time and energy for the truly important, even if it doesn't scream for immediate attention. Less isn't laziness. It's strategic brilliance, a bold refusal to be a slave to the urgent. Saying no to distractions might feel uncomfortable, but saying yes to everything is a recipe for burnout. Right now, jot down 3 tasks, and only 3 that, if executed flawlessly, would yield significant results in the next month. Compare this list to your current routine. The gap between the 2 is where your productivity leaks are. Eliminate distractions, minimize disruptions, and amplify your impact. This is the secret to true productivity. Not frantic motion, but meaningful results. Stop spinning your wheels and start achieving real results. High-level productivity isn't about innate talent or fleeting motivation. It's a system, a strategy, a consistent approach. You don't need more time, you need less noise, less clutter, fewer distractions, and a ruthless elimination of unproductive tasks. It all starts with taking the reins of your own productivity. The principles outlined here aren't theoretical fluff. They're the roadmap from chaos to clarity, from planning to execution. You won't master them overnight, but each one you integrate will streamline your workflow and sharpen your output. Remember, peak performance isn't emotional. It's about structure, planning, cutting the fat, and repeating what works. So, pick one principle. Implement it today. Then another, and another. Build momentum, not from external pressure, but from internal focus. If this resonated, share it with someone stuck in the mud, someone trading frantic effort for strategic action. This could be a game changer. Ready to level up your discipline, organization, and results? Click the video above to learn how to overcome creative blocks, stay on track without constant motivation, and make consistency your new normal. Real productivity? It starts now. Quietly. impactfully, from within.